the fact that a lot of people knew that, you know, I'd been working with a lot of stuff over a few years, and you know, and Jason is our IT guy, and he's our tech director. So with both of us kind of bringing this idea to the table, there was already just a lot of trust there. I think the other staff in the building and the parents in the community are used to the kids having, you know, working with the one-to-one program at school for quite a while now. It's not a brand new thing. So there wasn't. And we got a lot of positive feedback about, oh, good, you know, they're getting just a technology course. That'll be, you know, that'll be nice for them to have, you know, something that's real focused like that. But the rest of the staff also, I think, has had, you know, they've been around it long enough, and a lot of them are just starting to really kind of bring it in more and more to their teaching. And so it was, like I said before, the timing was right.
And I think when, you know, we brought it to the staff, it was pretty easy for them to see what they were going to get out of it in terms of not having to shoulder that burden of teaching the technology in their class, and the amount of time that freed up for them to focus on curriculum. And what we really found was when we brought the idea to people, there wasn't any resistance. Most people said, cool, let's do it.
Plan?
Well, we talked about it a lot. And then I think we talked about it to Scott a lot, and he definitely immediately saw, you know, where we were coming from with it. Writing that course was actually pretty easy. I mean, there was just so many ideas floating around of, it wasn't a question of what do we need to bring in. I mean, it was pretty obvious the stuff that we wanted to make sure the course covered. And then as far as, I would say probably the biggest, in terms of implementation, the biggest actual burden probably has been on Jason, just in terms of, you know, being under pressure to make sure we have enough for everybody, and the iPads came in and we get them distributed and everything's running right, and with our tiny little bit of bandwidth that we can do all the things that we want to do. And so, you know, as far as, you know, the legwork for it, he's kind of shouldered that part of it, but the course itself has not been, it hasn't, other than the actual devices, it hasn't required any special purchases or anything to run.
As, you know, being in the first year of the project, there really hasn't been a slowdown at this point. We're just now starting to look at, okay, what are the steps that we need to do now to make this district-wide? Now that we've got this working well at Toke School, what do we do to expand that out?
Well, first and foremost, what I want with this course is kind of what I think we've always wanted from our one-to-one program, which is that the technology becomes transparent. It's just a part of how the kids, you know, get through learn the curriculum and explore different things in the curriculum that they have in their classes. And the tool is just a, you know, a secondary thing. It's, you know, it's like bringing their pencil in, or, you know, a different chunk of their brain in that they can just kind of carry along. But to help them be, you know, more creative, and to help them look at things in different ways, or to help them collaborate with each other easily. These are things that we've always wanted to do in classrooms. And it seems like, you know, sometimes it works really well and sometimes it doesn't work very well. And technology in this way makes it, you know, it's very natural for kids to be creative, and for them to find ways to collaborate with other students without us having to set up these really artificial situations with them and kind of forcing it. And the nice thing about the technologies that we're using is this, it just, most of the time it just happens, and that's nice. And so my kind of end goal for this program is so that it really becomes transparent, and the kids, I think for the kids in a lot of ways it already is. I would like for their teachers to also feel the same way about it. And one of the nice things that's happened this year is I've had a lot of the staff come to me at different times and say, you know, hey, I'm getting ready to do a section on earthquakes. what do you got? Can you help me out with that somehow? This is the content I'm going to be covering, or we're reading Lord of the Flies. Is there anything you can do to help me out with this? This is the concept I'm trying to get the kids to see, and that's been awesome because yeah, absolutely. I want them to feel like that they can bring that in, and it's worked really well. So the class has been easy to be flexible with it.
Yeah, I think our main goal, like Tracy said, is basically just to improve student learning. We have a philosophy with technology in our district that technology doesn't exist for its own sake. Technology exists as a tool to facilitate learning. And if a certain technology is not something we can effectively use to facilitate learning, there's no place for it in the district. If it is something we can use to facilitate learning, then we can take that and improve the overall educational process and hopefully improve student learning and make it easier for teachers to cover the curriculum.